So the last place that we left off with the Grand Prix here is we got that cradle mounted up in there, but we need to get the spring perches in there and we have to get the shock mounts done. So I'm thinking on the shock mounts, I have these pieces here. So this one I've already cut a little bit out of, but this is just the original stuff off the Mustang. So if I just cut it down and get it in there, I can build off the structure on the backside inside of the trunk to strengthen it up, because obviously I've taken out a lot of what made that strong in the first place. But I just thought it'd be easier this way. Yeah, I could make plates that the shock mount could bolt to, but I just figured why not take the pieces that I already have available to me. So let's check out and see how close this fits. Now, I already put the line on here where the bolt holes have to be. So they need to be lined up with this line. That is straight with this plate here. So if I were to push the shock down into position, it's got to go about right there. Now, it doesn't matter if this is this way or whatever. Ideally, it'd be straight, but we just can't get that. So I think it's going to be a little bit turned that way. And we're going to shape this piece to be able to attach it to the wheel well just like that. Now, I'm confident that this is strong enough just for the fact that this already had to support a whole strut assembly. So I don't see why we'd have a problem there. And once again, I'm going to do structure on the back. So let me go ahead and start shaping this up, and we'll see if we can get this side done, and we'll get to the spring perches next. Okay, so I got the plate all cut up and welded in there. Didn't turn out too bad. We got a couple little gaps like right here and here that we got to handle. And then as far as up here goes, I'm probably just going to do a plate that shoots over, like an 1/8 inch thick steel plate, just something nice and strong to go across here. And then, like I said, there's going to be that plate on the back side of this. So if we look in the trunk, we have this. We have these screws coming through in these holes, and also where we welded as a good reference for where that plate needs to go to. So basically that's going to be welded to the back side of this, kind of a little bit of a curve to it. It's going to be welded to the back side of this, and then on the rails that we put along this bottom side here, there's basically going to be a piece of round tube that goes diagonally like this to help structure that. Now, this is probably already strong enough, but if I do that, then I'll know that it's strong enough. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get the spring perch in on this side, and then we'll be able to start working on the other side. After we get that done, we'll move to the front of the car. But for now, let's get the spring perch in there. Okay, so I've got the spring perch in place. So I just put some tack welds up on the bottom and up on the side here, and it is in about the same exact position as what it would have been on that Mustang. So now we're just going to get the spring put in and see how this all looks. Spring in there and it's all looking pretty good. So I put the wheel on and just raised it up a little bit with the jack, and we still got a pretty reasonable gap here, but obviously we're still going to have a tire that sits up to probably about that height there, maybe a little bit less, and then we don't have the weight of the car on there either. Not to mention that these are the stock springs that came out of the Mustang. So once we get coilovers, we can actually sit this down where we want it to be. So we'll check it all out. I got the spring perch in position here, and I just put some welds on the sides here, and then there's some through the old spot weld holes on the bottom. And then I have to go back through and reinforce all this, but we're going to put plating on the side of this and everything else anyways. So then up here is looking pretty good. Just got to do the reinforcing later on that we talked about. So I got the thing formed to the actual body of the car. So it turned out all right. I mean, this is obviously at a different angle than what it would have been on the Mustang as far as this way, but that's not a big deal. Now, I just have to get to work on the other side. So I think I'm just going to knock that out real quick off camera because we obviously know what we're doing. And then I think we'll probably try to get the front end pulled out from under it, get some wheels with some tires on it, and set this thing down just to actually see what it looks like. And then we'll move on to the front of the car.